Are you one of the millions of Americans eagerly awaiting news about your Social Security benefits? Well, I've got some breaking news that you absolutely need to hear about. A major Social Security bill has just passed, and it's going to impact your monthly payments in ways you might not expect. Stay with me because I'm about to break down everything you need to know about these crucial changes that could put more money in your pocket. Before we dive into these important updates, if you want to stay informed about Social Security news and receive timely updates about your benefits, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm committed to bringing you the most accurate and up-to-date information about Social Security benefits, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's get into the details of this groundbreaking legislation that's making waves across the country. Have you been struggling to keep up with rising costs while living on a fixed income? You're not alone, and that's exactly why this new bill is so significant. The recently passed Social Security Enhancement and Protection Act of 2024 includes several key provisions that will directly affect beneficiaries, and I'm going to explain exactly what this means for you and your family. First, let's talk about the most immediate impact: the benefit increase. The new legislation includes a supplemental increase on top of the regular cost of living adjustment, COLA. But here's what makes this different from previous adjustments. This increase takes into account more than just the standard inflation metrics. Have you noticed how your everyday expenses seem to rise faster than your benefits? Well, the lawmakers finally listened, and they've implemented a new calculation method that better reflects the real costs seniors face, particularly in healthcare and housing. But what exactly does this mean in terms of dollars and cents? Let's break down the numbers. The average Social Security recipient currently receiving $1,848 per month will see their benefits increase by a significant margin. The exact percentage varies based on your current benefit amount, but most beneficiaries can expect to see increases ranging from 3.2% to 4.5% above the standard COLA adjustment. For many seniors, this could mean an additional $60 to $85 per month in their Social Security checks. One of the most pressing questions I've been receiving is about the timing of these changes. When will you start seeing these increases in your monthly payments? The implementation schedule is actually quite aggressive, with the first phase of increases set to begin rolling out in early 2025. However, and this is crucial information for SSI recipients, there are special provisions for December 2024 payments that you need to know about. Speaking of SSI payments, let's dive into the early December 2024 payment schedule that's causing some confusion. Due to the way the calendar falls this year, with January 1st being a federal holiday, SSI recipients will receive their payments earlier than usual. But here's what makes this particularly interesting: the new legislation includes a special one-time supplemental payment for SSI recipients that will be distributed alongside their regular December benefit. Have you heard about this additional payment? Many people aren't aware of it yet, but it's designed to help bridge the gap until the full benefit increases take effect. Now, you might be wondering why these changes are happening now and what prompted this significant legislation. The answer lies in the unprecedented economic challenges many seniors and disabled Americans have faced in recent years. Rising healthcare costs, increased housing expenses, and general inflation have all contributed to a situation where many beneficiaries have struggled to maintain their standard of living. This bill represents a bipartisan recognition of these challenges and a concrete step toward addressing them. But there's more to this legislation than just the immediate benefit increases. Have you considered how these changes might affect your long-term financial planning? The bill includes several provisions that could impact your future benefits and those of your family members. For instance, there are new rules regarding how benefits are calculated for surviving spouses and disabled adult children. These changes could mean thousands of additional dollars in benefits over the coming years for eligible recipients. Let's talk about some of the less publicized aspects of the bill that could still have a significant impact on your benefits. For example, did you know that the legislation includes new protections against benefit overpayment clawbacks? This has been a major source of stress for many beneficiaries who have faced unexpected demands to repay benefits they received in good faith. The new rules create more flexible repayment options and expand the criteria for overpayment forgiveness. Another crucial aspect of the bill addresses the way cost of living adjustments are calculated. Have you ever felt that the annual COLA increases don't quite keep pace with your actual expenses? The new legislation introduces a modified formula that gives more weight to expenses that disproportionately affect seniors, such as healthcare and prescription drugs. This change could result in more accurate and generally higher COLAs in the future. For those of you who are still working while receiving benefits, there are important changes to the earnings limit that you need to understand. The new rules adjust how much you can earn before your benefits are reduced, and they introduce a more gradual reduction in benefits when you exceed these limits. But here's the question many of you might be asking: should you adjust your work schedule based on these new limits? The answer depends on your individual circumstances, and I'll explain why. Let's discuss the special provisions for disabled beneficiaries, as this is an area where the legislation makes several significant improvements. The bill includes measures to streamline the disability application process and reduces the waiting period for certain benefits. If you or someone you know is applying for disability benefits, these changes could mean faster access to much-needed assistance. Have you been frustrated by the complexity of the disability application process? These new rules aim to make it more straightforward and less time-consuming. Now, there's an important aspect of the legislation that affects Medicare beneficiaries who also receive Social Security. The bill includes provisions to better coordinate between these two programs, potentially reducing out-of-pocket healthcare costs for many seniors. But what does this mean for your monthly budget? The coordination could result in more predictable healthcare expenses and potentially lower Medicare premium deductions from your Social Security checks. For those of you concerned about the long-term solvency of Social Security, this legislation also includes measures to strengthen the program's financial foundation. While these changes might not be as immediately noticeable as the benefit increases, they're crucial for ensuring the program's stability for future generations. Have you wondered about whether Social Security will be there for your children and grandchildren? These new funding provisions help address those concerns. Let's talk about some practical steps you should take in light of these changes. First, review your current benefit statement and compare it to the new increase schedules. Are you receiving all the benefits you're entitled to? Many beneficiaries don't realize they might qualify for additional assistance programs, and with these new changes, even more people may be eligible for supplemental benefits. For SSI recipients, the early December payment schedule requires some careful planning. Have you considered how you'll manage your budget with the modified payment timeline? While receiving payments early might seem like a bonus, it's important to plan accordingly to ensure your funds last until the next payment. The one-time supplemental payment can help with this transition, but budgeting remains crucial. One aspect of the legislation that hasn't received much attention is the expansion of Social Security services and support. The bill includes funding for additional staff and improved technology at Social Security offices. What does this mean for you? Shorter wait times, better online services, and more assistance when you need to interact with the Social Security Administration. Have you struggled to get help with benefit questions in the past? These improvements aim to make that process much smoother. Now, let's address some common questions about how these changes might affect specific groups of beneficiaries. For example, if you're receiving spousal benefits, there are new rules about how these benefits are calculated and when you can claim them. The legislation also includes provisions for divorced spouses and heirs that could increase their benefit amounts. Are you in one of these categories? You'll want to pay close attention to how these changes might affect your specific situation. For those of you who haven't yet started receiving benefits but are planning for retirement, these changes could affect your claiming strategy. The new rules might influence when it's most advantageous to start taking your benefits. Have you considered how these changes might impact your retirement planning? It's worth reviewing your strategy in light of these new provisions. Another important aspect of the legislation addresses the needs of caregivers. The bill includes new credits for time spent caring for family members, which can help protect future Social Security benefits for those who take time out of the workforce for caregiving responsibilities. Do you or someone you know provide care for family members? These new provisions could help ensure that this valuable work doesn't reduce your future Social Security benefits. The legislation also includes measures to protect vulnerable beneficiaries from fraud and exploitation. New safeguards have been put in place to monitor representative payee arrangements and prevent misuse of benefits. Have you or your loved ones ever worried about benefit security? These new protections provide additional peace of mind and concrete measures to prevent fraud. Looking ahead, it's important to understand how these changes fit into the broader picture of retirement security in America. While these benefit increases are significant, they're part of a larger effort to ensure that Social Security remains a strong and reliable source of retirement income. Have you thought about how Social Security fits into your overall retirement strategy? These changes might affect how you approach other aspects of your retirement planning. As we wrap up this discussion of the new Social Security legislation, let me remind you of some key action items. First, mark your calendar for the implementation dates of these various changes. Second, review your current benefits and compare them to the new increase schedules. Third, consider how these changes might affect your long-term financial planning. And most importantly, stay informed about any additional updates or changes that might affect your benefits. Remember, these changes represent some of the most significant improvements to Social Security in recent years, but understanding how they apply to your specific situation is crucial. Do you have questions about how these changes will affect your benefits? The best way to stay informed is to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. I'll be providing regular updates as more details about the implementation of these changes become available. Your financial security matters, and staying informed about these important changes to Social Security is crucial for making the most of your benefits. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. Share it with friends and family who might benefit from this information, and subscribe to the channel for more updates on Social Security and retirement planning. Together, we'll navigate these changes and ensure you're making the most of your benefits.